This gathering is not a beginning. It is a continuation of that same class which started the moment you first suspected that prayer is not telling God anything. We resume where all true prayer leaves off at the threshold of silence. I want you to feel, not merely hear, that our work tonight is simple and absolute. To end fear by ending belief in a second power, not to argue fear, not to reason it away, not to shout it down with braver thoughts, to end it by refusing it any reality apart from the one. God is one. As long as there is one, there cannot be two. You have the advantage of being many in one place. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst. Numbers do not multiply God. They multiply witness. When a room consents to one presence, fear thins without debate, not because we have found a trick, but because we have stopped tricking ourselves. Do not give your faith to any method tonight, not even to the best of words. Give your consent to the presence that requires no words. Be still and know that I am God. That is not a suggestion to become passive. It is a command to stop inventing a second power. I will speak to you as one who has learned and is still learning inadequacy. I can of mine own self do nothing. The Father within me doeth the works. Be very firm in your understanding of your own inadequacy. Then you can rest in sufficiency, not your own. Thought is not power. Virtue does not flow out of our cleverness. Harmony does not come by might or by thought. Harmony comes by grace, and grace appears where silence has room to appear. Tonight, we will approach by a door, so spare it cannot flatter you. 5 words. Not to be chanted, not to be rubbed like a charm. A door. We will speak them once, only once, and then we go through. After the door, silence. After the letter, spirit. After the sound, the unsounded. If you find your lips itching to repeat, hold your teeth together. Stop. Stop. Let your tongue fall out before you talk to God. The kingdom does not answer to repetition. It answers to recognition. Do not be anxious. Take no thought. Is not a reprimand. It is release. We are not here to test God, nor to test fear. We are here to behold that there is only one presence and one power. And when a room beholds, this fear has no perch. Perfect love casteth out fear, because perfect love knows no rival. So take your seat inside the one, and let the rest fall away. We will use a simple door to enter silence, because only silence, the realized oneness, ends fear. Here is the door. God is. Fear is not. It is not a charm. It is not a lever. It is not a way to bend the invisible to our wants. It is a pointing a finger to the moon. Say it once and look where it points. Say it once to face the door, then stop speaking and go through. If you go on with it, you turn from door to wallpaper and live in a room of words. We are not here to decorate the mind. We are here to pass through the mind into the presence. God is one. As long as there is one, there cannot be two. Fear depends on two. Consider the master. He did not meet the sea with arguments. He met it from a consciousness of one power, and it stilled. Peace, be still. He did not answer Pilate's pretended authority with counter-authority. He exposed it as derivative. Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. He did not fear the crowd. nor their lack, nor their hunger. He lifted his eyes and gave thanks unto the One, and the fragments became plenty. What protected him? Not syllables, not the multiplication of thoughts about God. It was the living is of God, realized, present, indivisible. Where that is realized, fear finds nothing to cling to, and so it falls as shadow must fall when light stands revealed. Do not fall into the superstition that the phrase itself works. As long as you believe there is power in a good thought, you are far from the kingdom. Thought is not power. The presence is power. The words are letter. The silence into which they deliver you is spirit. Use them to take your hands off the wheel. One utterance, then hands off. Stop, stop. If the tongue rises to speak it again, let your teeth be a gate. Be still and know. You cannot know by repeating. You know by yielding. What is fear but faith, misplaced in a second course? What is dread but loyalty paid to a rival that does not exist? In the realization of one power only, the plug of fear is pulled out of the wall and the room simply quiets. You cannot see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, smell it, or think it, and yet it is nearer than your breath. Who by taking thought has added a cubit to stature, or whitened one hair, or secured one tomorrow? Grace accomplishes what thought cannot approach. So once more, and only once, God is, fear is not. Let that be the turning of your face toward the door. Now, no more building of phrases, no more bargaining with outcomes. I and my Father are one. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Not to recite, but to recognize. Then hold your peace. Let the Father within do the works. In that one presence, without rival, fear is not because God is. There are two parts to our work, and you must not confuse them. There is the letter of truth, and there is the spirit or consciousness of truth. The letter is sound, syllable, articulation. It is the hand upon the latch. The spirit is the living presence that meets you when the door swings open. Study the letter. Respect it as you would a lamp in the night, but know that the lamp does not create the dawn. Its task is to keep you from stumbling until the day appears. It is not the letter that heals. It is realized presence that heals. So you must be very clear about the purpose of words. They are not for persuading God. They are not for directing outcomes, scheduling miracles, or bargaining for safety. Words lift you above the chatter of mind into a posture of receptivity. That is all. Take no thought. It is not a scolding. It is a path. My thoughts are not your thoughts, and therefore your finest thought about God carries no power. God is power. God is one. The letter points, the spirit performs. Now the procedure. Speak once, then stop. Stop. Let your tongue fall out before you talk to God. Hold those teeth together. Be still and know. Your knowing will not be a parade of ideas. It will be an inner quiet, a settled consent. I can of mine own self do nothing. The Father within me doeth the works. Remain there. No plan, no pleading, no supervision of grace. True prayer places you on the receiving end of God, who by taking thought can add a cubit to his stature, not one. But in the hush where thought ceases to rule, grace appears. Replace asking with receiving. Replace effort with availability. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want is not a request. It is recognition. In recognition, supply is presence, safety is presence, Wisdom is presence. Do you see the reversal? Each time the impulse to inform God arises, treat it as a bell calling you to silence. Withdraw the request. Offer your stillness. This is obedience to acquaint now thyself with him and be at peace. We must train this pivot until it is natural. A young clerk wrote me that in the crush of the midday market, fear took her breath as bills mounted. She remembered the door, whispered it once, then closed her mouth. Inwardly, nothing, no plan, only the is of God. She stood 3 minutes without argument, and when she returned to the counter, what had been confusion ordered itself. Did her thought cause order? No. Her silence stopped granting power to disorder, and grace appeared. So let the words do their only holy work. Deliver you to wordlessness. There, where you cannot see, hear, taste, touch, smell, or think it, the one is. Abide in that quiet alertness. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. In that liberty, fear is not, because God is. God is power. Therefore, there is only one power, not two, not God and something. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. These are not ornaments for a creed. They are the metaphysical ground of safety. If God is one, then nothing else is power. Not disease, not lack, not fate, not fortune, not the best of thoughts nor the worst of thoughts. I am the Lord, and there is none else. When you rest there, even for a breath, you have withdrawn the only battery fear ever used, your belief in a second cause. Look directly at fear, and you will see its secret contract. It asks you to consent to two. It whispers, there is God. Yes, but there is also this report, this symptom, this headline, this neighbor, this memory. Now choose your champion. And the moment you choose, you have already lost, because you have accepted a duel which requires two powers to imagine a field. Fear survives on your hospitality to a rival that does not exist. If God be for us, who can be against us? Who, if there is no other power? Do not try to outshout fear with bright ideas. As long as you believe there is power in a good thought, you are far from the kingdom. Thought is not power. Neither a cheerful thought nor a gloomy thought heals. Both are of one fabric. The mind that divides and assigns grades to nothingness. There is no such thing as mortal mind as a power. That phrase names a vacuum, a term denoting nothingness. Stop. Stop. Do not juggle dark thoughts for light thoughts. Lay down the whole circus. Be still and know. Oneness is not constructed. It is recognized. You cannot see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, smell it, or think it. It will not come as a sensation or an argument. It appears to inner recognition as what always already is. Be still and know that I am God is the end of manufacture and the beginning of revelation. In that stillness, your consent to a second cause melts without debate, and with it the fear that fed upon it. What happens then? The puppet falls. Cut the strings and the dance stops of itself. When the imagined cord to a rival power is unplugged, fear has no mechanism left by which to jerk the heart or fog the sight. No weapon formed against thee shall prosper is not a promise of clever defense. It is a statement that in one presence there is nothing for a weapon to act upon. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty, and liberty needs no armor because it admits no enemy. Let this be your ground. God is one. God is all. Withdraw the second cause, and in that very instant, fear is not, because God is. If you would see this truth with eyes, look at the Master as a window, not as an exception. He did not come to demonstrate a cleverer mind. He came to reveal a life lived in the awareness of one power only. He did not carry techniques from town to town. He carried no satchel of prayers. He moved in his presence. And wherever that realization was, fear found no foothold. On the sea he slept. The wind shouted. The waves flung themselves against that little boat. And the disciples did what disciples do when they believe there are two powers they feared. He rose, not to contest the storm, not to bargain with weather, not to summon a counterforce. Peace, be still, as if to say, God is, fear is not, who by taking thought could still a storm, who by clenched jaw or repeated phrases could instruct wind and water. No one. The storm yielded because there was no second cause acknowledged in him. One presence realized, and the theater of resistance closed. Before mobs and rulers, he did not arm himself with 1,000 defenses. He answered him never a word. My kingdom is not of this world. Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Do you hear it? No rival admitted. No energy invested in fighting shadows. He passed through the midst of those who would throw him over the cliff, not by outmuscling them, but by not granting them a power they did not have. I can of mine own self do nothing. The Father within me doeth the works. If the Father is the only doer, what is there to fear from man, from court, from sword? At the sickbed, there were no formulas, no affirmational marathons, no recitation to persuade omnipresence to be present. He touched, or he spoke, or he simply beheld, and wholeness was the natural unveiling of what is. To the fevered, the palsied, the leprous, I will, be thou clean, take up thy bed and walk. Little maid, arise. He asked, who touched me? For he felt virtue go out of him, not the virtue of concentrated thought, but the effluence of realized oneness. As long as you believe there is power in a good thought, you are far from the kingdom. Neither a good thought nor a bad thought raise the dead. The living is of God appeared, and death's mask fell. In solitude he revealed the secret of sequence. He withdrew into the mountain. He rose a great while before day. He went into a desert place to pray. Silence first, then action. Not my will, but thine be done. Grace initiates, obedience follows. He did not start his works and then ask God to bless them. He rested in God until the work was the Father's, and then it flowed of itself. True prayer put him on the receiving end of God, and in that receiving, supply, guidance, protection, healing came as byproduct, not as project. Ask yourself the dismantling questions. Who by taking thought could still a storm? Who by taking thought could heal a fever? Who by taking thought can make one white hair black or add a cubit to stature? If he would not trust thought to do it, will you stop? Stop. Do not collect slogans. Do not brace yourself with will. Follow him into the quiet. Say what must be said once, and then be still and know. As he is, so are we in this world. Not as imitators of phrases, but as partakers of the same life. His safety was not in words. It was in a constant consciousness of one power present. Let that be your model and your measure. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. When the Father within is acknowledged as the only doer, fear is not because God is. Let us not discuss it further. Let us enter. Sit as you are, but let the body become a willing servant of quiet. Place both feet on the floor, as if returning them to their earth. Let the spine be easy, not stiff, upright, without strain. Soften the brow, unclench the jaw, loosen the grip of the hands. Let the shoulders fall from around the ears. Breathe, but do not manage the breath. We are not manufacturing stillness. We are consenting to it. Now, only once, inwardly, not with moving lips, but as a single recognition whispered in the heart, God is, fear is not. That is enough. Stop, stop. Hold those teeth together. Do not reach for a second saying. Do not adorn it. The door is open. Walk through. Turn it over now. Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. Say it once, and then no more words. Be very firm in your understanding that you can of your own self do nothing. The Father within you doeth the works. Cease, be still, and know that I am God. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength, not in repetition, not in will, not in the brightening of human thought. We wait, not as beggars, not as supervisors of grace, but as those who have consented to one presence. Attend the subtle, not to catch it, but to allow it. Perhaps a quiet warmth arrives at the center of the chest. Perhaps there is a widening in the field of awareness, as if walls have stepped back. Perhaps nothing at all presents itself to the senses, no sensation, no thought worthy of notice, only a stillness that you did not make. Let it come or let it not come. You do nothing. Harmony comes by grace. Remain here now in simple, alert being for a minute, for another half minute. If thoughts appear, and they will do not battle, do not argue with a second power, even when it masquerades as a holy project. Let the thought pass unhandled, like a sound in another room. Return to the bare recognition that needed no second sentence. Rest the tongue, rest the mind, rest the desire to measure or to feel successful. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. That is recognition, not petition. Notice how the body, uncoerced, follows the heart's bow. The breath softens. The heart loosens its fist. But do not make an idol of sensation. Whether the pool is ruffled or glass, the water is water. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. You are not manufacturing liberty. You are standing where it always is. Now, as the mind completes itself, do not rush to words. Do not hurry to plans. Let action, if any is required, rise from this realized ground. If nothing is required, do not require something. In this manner, you train the soul in its rightful sequence. One utterance, then inward stillness. This is how grace is allowed to appear. And when grace appears, fear has no perch, for you have refused it arrival. Stay a breath longer, without thought, in the is of God. Then, gently, open the eyes if they closed, and carry this hush, not as a mood, but as your measure into the next movement. Now, immediately after such a stillness, the mind will try to reclaim the work and fit it back into its old harness. It will whisper, say it again until it works. Say it louder. Say it faster. Or promise God what you'll give if he will keep you safe. Or even watch the clock. 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Has the miracle happened yet? These are the temptations to chant the door as if the door were the room, to bargain with omnipresence as if omnipresence sold favors, to time grace as if grace answered to a bell. Stop. Stop. Do not let the holy be yoked to technique. Let your tongue fall out before you talk to God. Hold those teeth together. The kingdom does not come by the multiplication of syllables, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit. Do you see how quickly a phrase becomes an idol? As long as you believe there is power in a good thought, you are far from the kingdom. Thought is not power. God is power. Be still and know that I am God. Not be clever and convince. Be still. Prayer is not telling God a plan. Prayer is consent to a presence already here. True prayer puts you on the receiving end of God. Therefore, refuse the spin of results thinking. Don't prod the seed. Don't lift the root to check its progress. The wind bloweth where it listeth. You hear the sound thereof, but cannot tell whence it cometh, or whither it goeth. So is every one that is born of the Spirit. Let grace be grace. Reframe your aim. Forget supply. Demonstrate God. Forget safety. Realize God. Forget outcome. Realize God. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you, added not achieved by your push. Acquaint now thyself with him, and be at peace. Peace is not the prize of technique. It is the sign of recognized oneness. In realizing God, harmony evidences by grace. You cannot see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, smell it, or think it into being. You recognize what is, and the forms of your day quietly take their places. Be very firm in your understanding of your own inadequacy. I can of mine own self do nothing. The Father within me doeth the works. No man has ever lived capable of healing another person spiritually. The moment you imagine yourself a healer, you have set up two powers, the ill and the fixer. Lay it down. You are not the doer. You are the transparency through which the one reveals itself. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Let me turn this over now to the Father. Let me feel your presence, then be silent. Shift the locus of confidence. Treat God as omniscience and omnipresence already here, not as an absent help to be summoned by method. Withdraw your supervision. Stop timing God. Stop asking the hourglass if grace has appeared. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Your part is witness alert, surrendered, single. Speak once, if needed. God is, fear is not, then enter the hush and abide. In undivided reliance upon presence, without rival and without project, the fruit appears of itself. And when fruit appears, it is sweet not because you forced sweetness, but because the root is one. Now let us bring this out of the chair and into the street, into the kitchen, into the hospital corridor, into the red lights of traffic. When panic spikes do not reach for a speech, pause wherever you are, one inward utterance only, and then be still, even for 10 seconds. God is, fear is not. Stop, stop. Hold those teeth together. Let the tongue rest. Be still and know that I am God. 10 seconds may feel like a century to the mind that loves to scramble, but in 10 honest seconds of non-duality, the plug comes out of the wall. Thought will try to bargain. Just one more repetition, then I will be safe. No, safety is not in the extra word. It is in the absence of a second power. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. In the night watch, when the room is unfamiliar and the heart beats a drum of dread, do not wrestle the dark. Sit up, place your feet to the floor, as if returning to the earth what belongs to the earth. Let the hands open on the lap, one utterance only once, and then silence. God is, fear is not. Turn it over. Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. Then wait in the quiet, not a vigil for phenomena, not a stopwatch for grace, just the consent of being. He giveth his beloved sleep. If the body sleeps, let it sleep by grace. If it does not, let the soul rest anyway in what neither slumbers nor sleeps. At work or in traffic, where eyes must remain open and tasks continue, the practice does not leave you, it adapts. Soften the gaze, let the jaw unclench, feel the breath without managing it, feel the wheel in your hands, the floor under your feet, the weight of the body on the chair. With eyes open, no. One here, not two. Not you and danger and God. Not you and deadline and God. God and the practitioner and the problem are not three. There is only the one being itself, wearing these names like garments. In him we live and move and have our being. When you know this, even for a breath, the theater of opposites loses its stage. Do not hurry to act. Let behavior follow realization. Acts born of fear multiply fear. Acts born of stillness carry authority. The master did not start with doing. He started with knowing. Not my will, but thine be done. Then came, stretch forth thine hand. Then came, take up thy bed and walk. Who by taking thought can add a cubit, steer a crisis, save a face? No one. But when oneness is realized, the next step appears with its own light. Perhaps you make the call, but not to beg, only to be clear. Perhaps you drive to the clinic, but not under duress, only under guidance. Perhaps you apologize. And because there is no second power, pride has no argument left. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Practice this silent turn 100 small times. At the first sting, turn. At the first headline, turn. At the first tightening in the gut, turn. One wordless bow to the one, and then allow. 10 seconds if that is all time gives. A minute if grace holds you longer. As you do, you will learn by witness what cannot be taught by argument. Fear ends not by formula or thought, but by realized oneness. In any moment of fear, turn now, speak once, enter, receive, and let action come after realization. Now, about helping one another. When the phone rings at midnight and a tremor is in the voice, do not rush to counsel. Do not gather verses like bandages. Do not promise outcomes. Pause. Even while the words pour through the wire, turn within. One utterance only God is. Fear is not, and then be still. Stop. Hold those teeth together. Let your first assistance be your own surrender. I can of mine own self do nothing. The Father within me doeth the works. Be still and know that I am God. Remain on the receiving end of God while your friend speaks. Your peace will do more than your advice, because peace is presence realized, and presence has no rival. Drop the intermediary fantasy. God and the practitioner and the patient are all one. There is no transmission. There is no sending. There is only recognition. As long as you believe there is power in a good thought, you are far from the kingdom. Do not project a bright picture across the miles. Do not send energy. Do not visualize a preferred outcome. These are attempts to improve a mirage. Be it transparency for the one. Yield all pretense of doing and let that which is already the life, the light, the wholeness of this brother or sister reveal itself. In him we live and move and have our being. The help you offer is not your thought. It is your realized oneness refusing a second cause on their behalf, which is the same as on your own, because there is only the one. Trust the holy arithmetic of united awareness. Where two or three are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst. This is not the gathering of anxious opinions, nor the joining of techniques. It is the meeting of consent, two or more, resting in the fact of one. Presence, no rival, no opposite. In that witness, fear loses its seeming authority, not by debate, but by exposure. If God be for us, who can be against us? In the room of oneness, there is nothing left to be against. Let words be few. After the silence, if speech is required, let it be the simplicity of peace, not the mechanics of method. Peace be unto you. Be not afraid. The Lord is here. Say it once, as recognition, not persuasion. Then stop. Do not explain God. Do not assign times and seasons. Let your yea be yea and your nay, nay. You are not manufacturing faith in another. You are refusing fear a perch in yourself. And that refusal is communal because oneness is communal. I recall a mother who called breathless about a child in fever. She asked for prayers, and the mind reached for tools. Instead, we obeyed our own teaching. One inward utterance, then silence. No sending, no picture, no timetable, only the is of God. After a little while, a stillness spread where panic had been in both houses. Presently, she said, I don't know what changed, but the room is quiet. Of course, harmony doesn't come by might or by thought. Harmony comes by grace. Healing is the recognition of what already is. This is how you help. Speak once God is. Fear is not enter the hush. Rest where there is only one power. And if you must speak, let it be the overflow of that rest. In such helping, there is no doer and nothing to do, only the one being itself. As all, from this hour, let the movement be from words to witness. Build a simple rhythm that does not tire the soul. In the morning, before the feet find the floor, face the door once. God is. Fear is not. Stop. Hold those teeth together. Sink into the wordless, as if the current beneath the riverbed had taken you in the evening before sleep. Return the day to the Father with the same 5 words. Once only, then the hush. During the day, let there be brief homecomings at the threshold of a meeting, at the sight of a headline, at a tightening in the chest. One utterance, inward, and then the silent turn. You are not adding something. You are refusing a second power. As long as God is, I am. Anchor your identity here. The kingdom of God is within you. Not in events, not in applause, not in the outcome of plans. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Liberty from what? From the hypnosis of 2 powers, good and evil, success and failure, gain and loss. Be very firm in your understanding that you can, of your own self, do nothing. The Father within you doeth the works. Be still and know that I am God. As you keep this truce with silence, expect quiet evidences. Fear thins like mist in sun. Guidance clarifies without argument. Harmony appears of itself, not by push, not by mental carpentry, by grace. You cannot see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, smell it, or think it into being. It reveals as what already is, and you find your feet walking in paths prepared. Extend the circle. Bring your home into this stillness, not by lecturing your household, but by refusing in yourself a rival to the one. Bring your shop, your office, your school. Bring your city. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst. If there be 10 righteous ones, a field is steadied. This is not the gathering of opinions. It is the meeting of consent. Sit a few minutes each day and let the names of neighbors, leaders, nations float before the altar of one presence. No petition, no project. If God be for us, who can be against us? In realized oneness, there is nothing left to be against. Keep the discipline gentle and exact. Morning and evening, one utterance, then the hush. At noon, 10 seconds of stillness before the next act. At night, if wakeful, feet to the floor, one utterance, then rest as one kept. Acquaint now thyself with him, and be at peace. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, not the answer, not the ease. And all these things shall be added unto you. Let your tongue fall out before you talk to God. Treat God as omnipresence already here. Turn it over. Father, thou doest the works. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. Now we close as we mean to live together. Say it once within. God is, fear is not. Then no words. The Lord is here. The kingdom is within. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Be still and know.